morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the morning shake with me, your host Xavier, and of course my co-host, Mr. J. Paris, and of course in the booth, Mr. Clayton Gumede, and they have a good show today.
Yes. Good morning to the folks. What's up to the youngins and bless up to the world. It's your boy J. Paris. We're coming to you live on this beautiful Monday morning from Johannesburg, South Africa. It's the morning shake, powered by the Inside Show, and it's one of the best podcasts in the world.
Of course, and of course, we're not alone. You must have seen the thumbnail by now. You know we got a guest in studio. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Help me welcome Mrs. Kezia Fortuin. She was waiting to hear me say.
Yeah, 100%.
Morning, Keys. How are you?
Good morning, Pastor Xavier. Good morning, Jay. I am well, thank you. I'm overjoyed. I'm humbled to be here this morning. I can't wait for what's about to take place.
Of course. Thank you for coming through. You're looking lovely, as always. And Clayton, you don't have a mic today, nah? We were hoping we're going to hear your voice. But it's fine.
Where's your voice, bro? Come on.
Come on, man. Come on. Nah, but it's good. Mr. Paris, I don't know if you want to jump into some sports, but I wasn't watching sports this weekend. Hamilton crashed. I wasn't interested. I didn't end up watching Azerbaijan. Of course, Verstappen won. So I guess that was something different.
Come on, that's good.
That was something different. That changed the two McLarens were always leading the whole, but they're still going to win the season in.
So Verstappen won.
Yeah, yesterday. But he's still behind on the season, so it's fine.
Hamilton won't win this season.
Nah, he won't.
Said that in the beginning of the season. But I don't want to start there. I want to start with the Betway Premiership. So as we know, Sundowns beat Durban City 3-1. Bafana Bastille. I will not start with the Premier League ever again. I will start with local because local us 100%. I will start with local. We are patriots in the building. We South Africans. We support what's happening here. And yes, that's who I think Sundowns is on top of the log now at the moment. Yes, they are on top of the log, which we excited, which we're happy about. I said,
you must a Sundowns supporter now.
Don't say that, bro. Okay. Don't say that on air. That's a belief.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am. And then we also had the Currie Cup final between the Lions and the Griquas. And the Griquas reached the final by beating the Cheetahs. No. That was the semi-final in Kimberley.
What's Clayton? You see, that's why you're supposed to have a mic.
Yes, bro. Come on. But this again is South African. That was the Currie Cup final on Saturday.
And South Africa didn't play this weekend.
No.
And no Hendricks, nothing happened this weekend.
No. Not this weekend. In other news, yeah.
And then, of course, last night I was watching the Charlie Kirk Memorial. 100,000 people in the state. Chris Tomlin, Dad, Phil Wickham. It was nice to see 100,000 people worshipping. I was like, wow, okay, this is interesting. This is cool. So I was watching that last night. It was long. I think it was like 4 hours long. Fell asleep halfway through, but it's fine. And then of course,
bro, that was like a half a day.
But remember, in America it's a different time and whatever else. And for us, it's midnight. So so that's what's been happening this past weekend. But let's get into it. Of course, our guest here this morning.
Let's start on a light note. Do you watch sport?
No,
or what do you do on your off time?
I never have off time, Jay.
So it's just hustle, grind, 24/7.
Wife, mom. There's never an off time.
No,
but I'm sure there's a little bit of a gap where you maybe watch fencing or squash or badminton. Like
we got this thing on Mondays that with Jay, we do like a weekend roundup of what's been going on in the sports. Then Jay's like, and in fencing news, you're like, bro, who watches fencing? People don't even know what
don't
fencing
hate
is.
on fencing. Clayton said
fencing is people who sit on a fence
and they jump over it and then you win.
Fencing is like sword fighting. Where they, have you ever seen people? They wear like a helmet, like a mesh helmet, and then they have like a sword that has like a round point. That's fencing, but nobody watches, nobody cares.
Please don't hate on fencing. Clayton said, and I echo, there will be a black South African that's gonna win the world championship in fencing, and then we all gonna say,
gonna be like, yo, did you watch fencing?
Onsekund. So onsekund now already. Don't onsekund when it happens.
Yeah.
Please,
Okay,
please,
no, I'll
onsekund
get
now.
into it, Jay.
So we believe in
He's
fencing.
not even into it.
Oh,
Says who?
Bro.
Says who?
Yeah, but Kezia, thank you for coming through today. Listen, you've been on this journey of starting your own business. We want to speak about business. We also want to make sure we give you a shout out on the show today. But you've been in the corporate space. You've been in the space where you had to, show up every day, and you had to do what you had to do when you obviously worked a 9 to 5, and I know personally it was more than just a 9 to 5. You had to be there at night, you had to be there on weekends, you had to do a bunch of stuff. And at some point in the journey, you decided, you know what, I'm going to go on my own path. Maybe let's start off, Jay. I don't know if you normally like to start off with where were you born and who your mother is and your father.
Favorite food.
Your favorite food.
What inspired the fit, all of that. No, I think it's vitally important to just get the context of where you're from and so forth on. I love the voyage. I love the journey. People need to know exactly this is your humble beginnings. This is where you, like Pastor Xavier said, this is where you're from. So take us from the onset. Take us from the infant moments. Who is Kezia Fortuin?
sure. Wow.
Previously, a plune. I read Xavier on my phone and it was spelled incorrect. And I showed up
No,
like,
I
yo, I
forgive
must
you.
You
change
had a
this.
plune
I
for
forgive you.
No,
a
I had
hot
the
minute.
spelling wrong also.
Oh, even the spell.
Yeah, but I
there's a
showed
lot
her. She
going
forgave
on.
me. It's fine.
But yeah, I forgave him. I forgave him. So once again, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm really humbled and I'm honored to be here this morning. Who is Kez? Man, I'd love to say that I am love, I am light, I am a sweet fragrance, I am Christ-like, I am soul, I am congenial in my own right, I am passion, and I am purpose.
Come on.
Let's take it back into history. I'm a wife to a handsome man, Kezia Fortuin.
Come on,
I'm a guardian mom to Enzo and Renesmee, a daughter to Beaton and Henrietta Ann Apluin. I'm the baby of what used to be 4 siblings. My eldest brother is late. And I was born and raised in Mitchell's Plain, Cape Town.
So you actually in Cape
I'm
Town?
from Cape Town, yes.
I actually didn't know that.
We got 2 Cape Townian
'Cause these are
babies
some
here.
fun
Are you?
Yo,
Yeah.
And I'm Mitchell's Plain as well.
Wow,
Come on.
yes, I'm from Mitchell's
They
Plain.
were actually neighbors.
And
Probably. Never
yeah,
know.
because, it's an offline conversation. But yeah,
100%.
I think it is. And then Joburg became home, I think, more than 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. That became home for me. And I think before I get into my journey, I don't know if I must go further
No, you
about
can
more
continue.
background. I'm a qualified nail technician.
Nice.
Come on.
Yes, I have to. I like
Amen.
qualified. Biosculpture nail technician. I'm the founder of Sculpted Bliss, a nail studio specializing in biosculpture gel, where passion and creativity meets excellence. I'd almost say that I'm a chef in my own right, self-proclaimed, because I pour the same amount of love and artistry into the kitchen as I do into my daily business. But beyond entrepreneurship, I believe that I am a worshiper.
Yeah.
I'm an ordained worshiper and songwriter, deeply passionate about using my gift to inspire and uplift others. My journey is one of faith and courage and stepping into purpose. This is proof that when you lead with passion, you create possibilities not just for oneself, but for others that you come into contact with. And that has been who I am and who I desire for myself and what I desire for myself.
Nice. So I want to take it from this journey, right? Because I know you started the journey on entrepreneurship. So oftentimes in the show, we haven't had it in a while. And that's why I said to Jay, let's get back to, because when we started this show, the morning shake on a Monday was we were always interviewing like entrepreneurs, young professionals that are getting into this space, that are making money, that are becoming successful. And there was a time we stopped doing it for a while because it was becoming a lot to get, a guest every weekend, and it was really becoming a lot. And then we said, let's just take a breather. And then now I was like, yo, Jay, let's get back into interviewing young professionals. And when I say young, I don't mean like kids.
Yeah.
I mean like, millennials, and up, 30s, early 40s. And so we decided, let's have this conversation, because I know personally you were in the private space, right?
Yeah.
At which point and which stage in the game did you decide, you know what, I wanna pursue my own thing? How did that journey come about?
Wow. NDA.
Don't share stuff that obviously you cannot share. Or whatever the case might be.
Okay, so I think for myself, I always knew that I think my purpose is to serve. I've always known that. I've always known, I'm one of those kids that grew up where mom and dad would always say, you treat the janitor the same way you treat your CEO. And I live by that. I live by it all out. And I've served in the corporate space for long. I actually matriculated. I went and I studied foundation phase at UJ University.
For teaching?
For teaching, yes.
Hey, bro, we're learning so many things. We know you so long. We're learning so many things.
And through my journey, I had to leave school because of a lot of things. And I then had to find a job. And so that means from 2012 right until now, that is about 13 years, I've been in the corporate space. And I've served for all those years. Was my journey good? Yes. Was it incredible? Yes. Was it hard? Yes. But was it fulfilling? Yes. And I think I got to a space in my life in 2023 already, where I said, God, there's more to me. And I need you to show me, help me understand what is the more. What is it? What does it look like? I don't know what you have next for me. And the space that I was in allowed me to serve open-heartedly, because my life was entrepreneurship. I had to always be with entrepreneurs. I had to serve the entrepreneurs because I worked for an entrepreneurship hub. And what we did in the space was build them up. It was our mandate to see them flourish. It was our mandate to see their businesses grow. It was our mandate to get them crystallized with like partnerships and all of those things. And then one day I just sat back and I said, God, I do this for everybody. Everywhere I go, I am always at work for somebody. And I never feel like I get that back. I know my life is a testimony in itself, but when is it my turn? When is it time for me to actually say, Kez, this is you. This is your time. And towards late 2024, I started getting very uncomfortable in my spirit. And my season closed at work in October. And 2024, yeah. My season closed in October. And I went home and I said to my husband, I'm not going back. And he didn't question me. And I think that was my peace. He didn't question me. He said, what does it look like? Come and put a presentation together. Show me what it is that you're going to do. Show me what you have envisioned for what's next. All I know is music. All I know is to serve. And I was like, God, where do I start? But I had put my faith and my trust in the one who created me. Because I know that he wouldn't bring me this far. And just that stirring wasn't just there from 2024. It was way before that. I think it was already in COVID. But you are so comfortable in making a living for yourself and having to survive and, thinking of everyone else that you need to survive for, that you stay. And
would you say that's one of the barriers of progress, where it's like comfortability in knowing that, okay, end of the month, this is my income, and I understand what I need to do, how I need to do it. Would you say that comfort is a barrier for progress?
I do. I'm a strong believer of it, because all we do as young people, we want to secure the bag. We want to secure our pockets, and obviously being realistic, that is what you should do, right? But I'm going to use myself. I'm now self-employed for this entire year. We're now in September, and I've never went 1 month without paying whatever I need to pay. I've never missed a payment for anything. Wow.
And all your bills are paid.
That's blessing.
Yeah. That's the end of
God.
Blessing.
Everyone doesn't have that.
My business hasn't peaked the way it should. It's not flourishing the way I envisioned it for it to be, but I have never ever gone without paying a bill. Not one month.
Well
Not
done.
one
That's
month.
that's definitely a blessing. It's a big blessing. So did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think talk to us about your business. I see you're hiding your cup here. You have, beautifully branded. I just want to,
before
show
we go into the actual business, I'm still kind of building building the layers of like, okay, you leave the corporate, you get into a space where you realize that this comfort of a 9 to, call it a 9 to 5 for the sake of, as they say, ease of reference. We understand that you were there more and you had to do a lot of other things also. But you then know that, staying here is helping me pay the bills. It's helping me cover what I need to cover. There's a form of familiarity and comfortability knowing that this is what I do. So people know me in the space. Now, speak to us about the idea of leaving something you know and venturing off into something that you don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if people are going to support you. Don't know if this thing's going to make sense. You're not sure if you're coming or going, but you have to. It's basically that step of faith that like, okay, I'm doing this.
I think it's exactly that. It was a step of faith. And it was hard. I won't lie. This journey is not an easy journey. Entrepreneurship, I knew for the longest time that it's not an easy journey. And why? It's because progress to some people, and sometimes those closest to you, looks like competition. So it looks like, oh, she wants to be that girl now. Oh, and it's not that. And in a world where we need each other, I think as entrepreneurs, I'm speaking for all of us, we need your support. We need you guys we need to know that we have a support system. But I think for myself, when I knew my time was now over, I started, like I was mentioning earlier, I started becoming so restless. And when you constantly wake up with anxiety of your day, you didn't even get done yet. You haven't even showered, but you're already anxious for what your day is supposed to look like, and for what you're supposed to do. I think there's something wrong already. So I took the step of faith in knowing that I'm going to have peace that surpasses all human understanding, and that is the plan that God has for me, that I live in peace. He's never ever wanted me to live in fear. He's never wanted me to say, Keys, you need to worry about this, you need to be scared about this, that is not his plan for me. And so I started becoming comfortable in knowing that, okay, the more I'm convincing myself to actually leave, the more I'm convincing myself to step away from what I think is life, God is going to prepare me. He's already prepared me, and he's going to take care of me on this journey that I need to go on. So yeah, I think I just needed to consciously make that decision and say, my time is up, and whatever lies ahead.
So the journey of entrepreneurship, it can be like daunting. You're like, okay, now that, as you say, that bag is not coming in on the day that I know it normally. I know that on the so-and-so, the 25th or the 30th or whatever, there's X amount coming in. I know I can cover 1, 2, 3.
And obviously the 9 to 5, by 5 you clock out and you can go home. And I'm just saying for the sake of
average 9 to 5,
9 to 5 you clock out, you can go home and you can literally do what you got to do.
Yeah, but you can claim benefits.
But the fact that now you're on your own, you're an entrepreneur. It's like now late hours become a thing. Prepping and planning and so forth on. But what was that transition? Like you mentioned, you were for many years in corporate. Just those infant stages of starting the business, because I'm sure there's a lot of people watching online that has a purpose, that has a passion. But I think that bridge is one of the most difficult bridges to cross.
Like taking that step,
that bold step of faith, of comfortability, so respectfully, to going into what you
the unknown,
I think as part of my notes, I say that entrepreneurship in itself is the ability to see possibility where other people see challenges. And being the solution-driven person that I am, I knew that as hard as it gets, I'm going to see results.
Come on.
In whatever I do, whatever God has me do next, I'm going to see results in it. And I won't lie, I agree with you 100%. The journey is hard. The journey is lonely. It's extremely lonely because you're so used to always being around people. I mean, in the space where I was in production. I used to curate shows. I used to do all of those things. I used to, before, in one day, we could have 3 shows. So I was always busy. I always got to, and around people, you're always cutting to the chase. And I got used to that because I'm an extrovert. I love people. I'm a socialite. But I've learned to be comfortable with me. I've learned to love my own company. And I've learned to believe in me. I've learned to say, okay, Keys, this is you. What are you doing? And so downtime for me is now prep time. So whenever it does get lonely, whenever it does look like, okay, God, where's the clients? What's happening? That's me prepping. That's me preparing, whether it comes to my music, whether it is with the nail business. But that has essentially been preparation time for me. And that is how I kind of curved all of that loneliness.
You think you were running from something by loading your plate with being around people all the time? And then do you feel like you were confronted with like, okay, now I'm confronted with me and the silence? Do you think there's something there or no?
I wouldn't necessarily say I was running from anything, but I was so hard at work trying to prove that I am something and I'm somebody, and trying to get Kezia out there to show that I can. For the longest time, I think we've been suppressed as a people. And in the space where I was like one of 100 colored people in the space where I was. And I needed to prove that there's more to colored people than just us sitting on the street corners. There's more to colored people than being school dropouts. And I think that was the issue. I was so driven that I kind of left and forgot about myself and my family. And I was chasing the dream. And I was made to believe that I was doing the right thing in that moment, because you have to be independent. You have to have your own bag secured. You can't be dependent on other people. You have to be great for yourself. So yeah, I do.
I want to ask, and this might be an obvious answered question, but how important is it? You know, someone's at home, they're sitting with a dream, a passion, but how important is it to still look at the market as to, because, you know, we're living in tough times and a lot of people are cutting down on so many things. So how important is it still to pursue your passion, but also know exactly what the market looks like in terms of, are what's people going to, you know, what's relevant? Are people going to buy this product? Are people going to look into this product? Because you can have a dream, but if it doesn't necessarily connect with the market, it can still sell, you know, depending on how you push it. But I think there kind of needs to be that balance. I mean, we all look for those insights. I see there's a gap here in the market. Let me fill that
product
gap.
Or service.
It's adaptability. It's not having to change who you are and what you do, but it's not having to change who you are and what you do, but it's becoming adaptable and changing your narrative to what the market is. So if I'm in the nail industry, what is pumping outside now? Let me change tweak what I do to fit the market right now. So I don't believe that you should be really having to change your industry. And if you do music, find what is pushing outside on the market now and change your music style, not your genre, but maybe your style according to what the market wants. I think. Does that answer your question?
100%. I think also, you know, the advent of AI and so many things coming to the forth at this moment in time. I was watching. I'm just forgetting this guy's name. I was watching him on YouTube, and he says, you know, there's a lot of people that's studying certain things at the moment that in the next 10 years, those jobs are going to be irrelevant as far as AI is concerned. Just the advent and the speed of AI. Was that a thought in that stages where you were thinking about what you're going into? I don't know. Let's speak about hair maybe. Do you think someone can create a AI machine that you can literally, you know, put your whole head or face into and it can cut your hair? I don't know. We obviously gonna
I do.
With your
Oh,
hand in the
yeah,
machine,
you
that
can in
doesn't-
machine, and it just does. Were those thoughts, obviously,
Yeah.
because what we do isn't just for the now. It's not just for the, I'm trying to make a
course.
bag now. You
Yeah.
think ahead. You think 5, 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
Were those thoughts and how were those thoughts something that you crossed?
Yeah, perfect sense, because AI is, it's now taken over the entire world. There's a saying that says a good leader makes themselves redundant. And we need those people. We need that AI people. And already, even in the nail space, we do have those machines that are already making nails. And that...
So it's a thing.
Yes, it's
Okay.
an actual thing, because they call them press-on nails. So the machine would make, if you say, I want a hot feature on my nails, I wanted this colors, that colors, it will actually make it for you. So there is that. But what I think for me, it's always going to be something. The world is ever evolving.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something. And that is why it's important for us to stay learned. It's important for us to know our environments. It's important for us to know what's happening on TikTok, what's happening on
Yeah.
Instagram, and to stay up to date with those things and understand what more can I offer. Yes, that thing can
100%.
make the machines, but someone is still going to have to place them on your finger. So is it my idea now to get that machine to make the nails for me, and then I just place it on somebody's nails? Or am I going to figure out a way to make it, to give a better offering? I think in our country alone, with a population of 63 million, 33% is unemployed. And today I will ask myself, like, why? There's so many solutions, but we've all become so comfortable, like what you are saying, that no, there's a machine already doing that. There's someone already doing that.
Or
Even
waiting
in the
for the
banking
government to
space,
do something.
The government
No, the
must come
government
and
must
bring an
come and fix this,
opportunity.
yeah.
We just sit back because sometimes it's out of fear. We don't know if it's going to work. But if you don't try and if you don't put yourself out there, you'll never know. You'll never ever know.
So yes,
I just got one more leading out question. Apologies. I think there's the saying that you get paid for, and this is going to connect with the whole AI question. It's the follow-up question. There's a saying you get paid for what you know, then you get paid for your worth, and then you get paid for who you are. So I do understand the whole machine thing, that people can do that. But I think you in a stage, and especially in your bio, you were speaking about how much of a bubbly person you are, how much of a loving person you are, which is absolutely correct. I think now you at a stage, even though it's still the early stages of your business, because of who you are. Yes, what you're doing is exceptionally well as far as your are concerned. But I think people start latching onto the person. So as much as AI is at a rapid pace at this moment in time, people still want that
no
personal
personal
touch. And I'm sure you can vouch for that, and you can speak about how important that personal touch is. It is easy for someone to just put their hands or their fingers in a machine, but there's nothing like actually sitting down with Kezia and the conversations we're having. The soul, the spirit, the emotions, there's absolutely nothing like that. And as far as those 3 stages are concerned, you get paid for what you know, which you are. You get paid for your worth, which you are. But I think you're at a stage now where you're also getting paid just for who you are.
Come on.
Come on now.
Somebody. That doesn't need even a comeback. But I want to add on it to say that sometimes there's a saying that goes, when you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life.
Come on.
And I think I am testament to that, because every person that comes into my space never ever had a bad report. I screenshotted just one lady that I met now this past weekend. And I said to my mother, Ma, I just met this lady, and the love I felt, the love I felt from this woman. And when she put up the status, I knew that was genuine. I knew she felt the way I felt. And I think that is ministry for me.
Yeah.
That is exactly where I need to be. And you become so comfortable in doing what you love that you don't even care about the bag. The bag will see to itself. It comes as an aftermath. It becomes normal for you to just have the level of faith that I think I have now, to say, you know what, God will take care of the rest. He's proven it to me over and over, and I'm going to just trust him, and I'm going to enjoy what I do. So I love what you said. Thank you.
Yeah, that's perfect. I want to get back. I want to get to your business now, right?
Okay.
So you decide, okay, I'm going into the nail space. I want to get to your logo, how you decide on the name, because that's like the intro of like, okay, right, I'm going to do this thing now. I'm going to register this thing. This is going to be my logo. This is what's going to be my name. And this name means this. Because those are the things you think about when you start. Take us through that journey. The things that do you have like a catchphrase or whatever the case might be? Like, you know, when you say success, and then you have like a thing under.
Slogan.
Okay. How much time do we have?
No, you can go for it.
No, I'm joking. Okay. So let me share maybe a bit of Sculpted Bliss, the journey. I think with Sculpted Bliss, there's nothing deep to the name. There's no background, there's no spiritual background to the name. There's nothing like
when
that.
I was 12 years
like
old, I saw a sculpture.
No, there's nothing deep to the name. I just know that everything I do is blissful. And the sculpture part of it is just me building me, essentially, into what it is today. And as Jay mentioned earlier on, the markets it's always a thing. You always need to stay relevant. And I think that is how I decided to do biosculpture gel and not just go and take on a normal nail course. And
wait, what is biosculpture?
I'm going to explain
Please,
to you.
because you're saying things that sound like French to us.
So I decided, okay, I love working with my hands, and let me do this, because at the end of the day, I also want to know that I have some sort of certification to my name, you know. And I could have gotten into a Tammy Taylor or whatever the brands are, the famous brands are, but then the world now is green. And we all going the vegan way. We're all in the healthy light. And so with biosculpture, what it essentially is that it's a vegan gel. So it means that it's a healthy gel. It's free of chemicals, it's TPO free, it's free of any chemical you can think of. And I think that is what people want. The same way we would rather go to a Woolworths and buy organic bananas instead of going to Pick n Pay and getting normal bananas, is exactly what you would want on your fingers. And essentially that is what drove me to get certified through. I think after Job's season of loss, his testing and resilience, the word mentions that the Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part. And among the blessings, the names of his daughters are also highlighted, and one of them, which is Kezia. And Kezia is a symbol of beauty, fragrance, and restoration. And just like Job's blessing after the storm, entrepreneurship teaches us that enduring the trials and with integrity and passion can lead actually to growth. It can lead to restoration, and it can lead to purpose-driven success. You know what I mean? And the importance of knowing Christ, because sometimes as human beings, we know the deeds, but we don't know his ways. We know the deeds of God and of Jesus, but we don't know his ways. And I think that is what set me apart in this entrepreneurship journey and in my journey of becoming Sculpted Bliss, was knowing that my latter will be greater than the former, and believing that the restoration that God has for me will actually come into fruition. And I think I'm living that right now. I'll say again, I'm in perfect peace. I understand.
No, she's
So the logo, this is obviously my name, Sculpted Bliss, and it's the art of healthy nails. So yeah, we don't just look pretty. Can you see my nails?
It's also healthy.
Yeah, it's also like healthy nails. So
yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah. So that is essentially the story behind Sculpted Bliss. And there was a lot of names, but I think this is the name that stood out for me. And yeah.
What is this new nail thing? And I know that's just a side quest real quick we'll get on. This new nail thing that I saw on social media. You know, when one has that little bit of dirt in the top of your nail, now they're making it actually a fashion statement where you're actually doing nails and and
Making
you
look
and
like
you
it's
make
dirt.
it look like that top.
No,
have you
that person
seen
is-
that?
Mechanic.
That person is married
Yeah,
to a
like you,
mechanic.
like
I was gonna say
I saw that on social.
that
I'm like,
person is
what?
married to a mechanic. No,
Is
there's
this
no
is this
such.
the new wave?
Now, what if someone comes and says, Kezia, I want that mechanic nails?
I'll give it to you because you're paying me for it, but you're not gonna mention my name.
Mechanic nails, you make it like that, you make it dirty.
It's
So.
gonna be sculpted. There's no bliss to it. It's fine. It's okay. And no.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I've been seeing it on the socials. I'm like, what
sounds
the
more
heck is going on?
No.
That sounds there, bro. That sounds mechanic. Just giving mechanic
Just
vibes.
go work and then you'll get that.
Yeah.
Take us through those first stages of getting clients now. What was that process like?
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
start this
Yeah.
thing, you're now putting it out, you're putting out your marketing, and now people need to now trust you, I guess, and see if there's a son what she's catching on here.
Hey, and the apologies, the nail technicians, and it's a hectic thing. My nail tech did the things today. It's like binary, either
Ooh,
did
yeah.
the things or did not do the things. It's with anything when it comes to people's appearance. You know how picky people can be. But yeah, talk us.
Shout out to every client of Sculpted Bliss. I think we've got quite a few in our church as well, in the organization. I think personally for me, every client is a reminder that someone actually believes in me, and that is what fuels me daily. So shout out to all of you that are watching. It's not easy, Jay. It's not easy. It's really not easy because I think I packaged myself really well before I even launched. I had my logo, I had registered my business. I came up with my name and I did everything that I needed to do before even mentioning the business to anybody. The level of support of those closest to you, your family, friends. And when this thing booms, you don't get that. You don't see it, you don't feel it. And it's sometimes daunting. It's like, it's not a nice place to be in. But I constantly prayed. And I said, God, if this was what you had in store for me, I'm going to trust you. And I know that it's going to do great. It's going to be great. And help me to showcase myself in a way that presents you. Help me for my work to speak on my behalf. I don't have to do the talking. I don't have to. And so it was. I think I was at a fortunate space where I didn't have to start from scratch and to learn and to mess up somebody's nails, because I had actually done this prior. And before the time, I actually now obviously got to study. So in me studying and getting to do the course, I obviously now became a professional at doing what I already kind of knew. So there wasn't really a gap for me to mess up. But I will say to you, as I mentioned earlier on, sometimes my progress or an entrepreneur's progress sometimes looks like competition to somebody else. And that makes it hard, because I always stick to my lane. But the next person won't think that. The next person is going to say, no, I can't let her flourish more than me. Or no, I can't tell my wife to go and support. I can't tell my neighbor to go and support. I can't send my child to go in because it means she's going to grow as a person. But you constantly have to stay grounded and say that this is not me. This is God. And he did this. And he's going to sustain this. And he's going to make me flourish, whether they like it or they don't like it. I'm going to do good. And you constantly have to reassure and affirm yourself that you are doing well. Yeah.
So do you think there's an expectation in the beginning? And I think what you're saying now, a lot of entrepreneurs say the same thing. There's an expectation that there's going to be the support will come from people that you thought was going to support you. And then once you get into it, you kind of like,
they're not there.
like, oh guys, what's happening now? You are not saying anything. You are not coming. You are not supporting. What's happening? But that happens most of the time, where the people you thought was going to support doesn't, and then the support comes from places that you didn't think at all it would come from. But either way, it ends up working, and either way, you end up being successful, and either way, this thing moves forward. I want to ask you a question about something that happened to you. I think it was a month ago or something.
True.
And
then?
It's going deep.
and we're getting a little bit deep
Okay.
now. But again, and how it impacted your business,
Yeah.
and how you had to stay grounded and stay focused, because I think in any business and in anything you endeavor to do, there's always going to be these setbacks and these challenges and these like, yo, bro, must I just leave this whole thing? Why is this happening to me? Is this a sign I should leave it or whatever? And then eventually like, nah, but no, man, let me do this thing. So take us through what happened, because I obviously know what happened. We had a chat about it. But I don't know, for as much as you can, share publicly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Pastor Sex. So everything, this is now for you, Dre, and for the audience that's watching. I've always had me. I've always had myself, and it's been God. And I think it's my personality to always do what I can for myself. And so when I had this vision, and when I decided to go into this journey, I did everything by myself. I paid for my studies. I had to get my equipment. I'll just make an example that I know, like in the normal industry, you can get a nail lamp now that is 250 rand, and it's gonna work. But for what I do, a simple thing like a nail lamp will cost you nothing less than 3.4. Right?
For
and
a proper professional.
Yeah, for the specific one that I need to use. And the product in itself it's expensive. Yeah. And I've built that by myself over the time. I've done all of that by myself.
Saving and all
I had to save. And you must now know that I didn't have much savings because of my we were in Cape Town. We were going to celebrate my dad's 70th. But because I wanted to be 70th, but because I wanted to be bar, and I wanted Sculpted Bliss to be mobile outside of the region, and I then opened it up to my family to say, you know what, I'm coming to Cape Town. Whoever wants me to do their nails, would you like me to bring my kit? Can I bring my stuff? And I went down because my family showed their supporting numbers. And I went with my equipment. We took everything with, and I was in Cape Town for a few days.
If you had to gauge more or less the value of what you're now traveling with, you're looking at a substantial amount.
I want to get to the meat here, like
no,
yo,
but I'm
no,
just
no,
I'm
yeah, no,
busy, like,
no, and
building
it's,
it up
no, and
because-
it's setting up beautifully.
Yeah.
That's even the fact that you're asking. I'm like, okay,
because I mean, you're going with all this equipment. You just
Yeah.
explain how tedious the process was to finally get to the point where you can now afford the lamp and you can buy the things that you need to buy, and your husband's helping you get your stuff together. Now you're like, alright, okay, good. I want this thing to work. I'm going with my stuff, and it's obviously valued at a substantial amount. Outside of the value, it's the time and the effort that it took to get to this point.
Yeah.
Eventually, okay, right.
The build up.
Yeah.
And so I went, and I just saw, because my family really showed me support, and I was like, yo, God, this is it. I don't have to stress again this month, because I'm going now for my dad's 70th. We're planning his birthday and everything. And so obviously finance is a thing. So you're trying to figure out, okay, no, I can't miss the number of clients that I would have had in Joburg. So let me try and fill up while I'm in Cape Town. Opportunist. Yeah, that's one of the perks of an entrepreneur. So anyway, I did that. Towards everything went well. My dad's birthday went well. Everything went well. On the very last day of my trip in Cape Town, myself and Clayton decided to take Enzo to Table Mountain. And so we go to Table Mountain, had a beautiful day at the mountain, but we know that we're going to need to leave soon because we have a plane to catch, right?
So you got a hired car.
We had a hired car and
driving
everything.
back to the airport after the
so we
Table
already
Mountain.
checked out of our accommodation. We're ready. From here, we're now going to the airport. And on our way out of Table Mountain, I'm saying to Kaylin, let's split. I'll go and get coffee and cold drink for you guys, and then you guys go and get the car. And in I'm becoming so uncomfortable in my spirit where I am. I didn't even end up getting the coffee or the cold drink. I joined that line probably like 3 times. I went to the line, I came out.
Because there was just something like,
something wasn't right in my spirit. And at the time, my cell phone was off. So I didn't have my phone. And then I'm now getting so edgy. And I'm thinking, okay, am I supposed to maybe just ask the, what do you call, like the people that sells the tickets outside? They're not security. They sell tickets like for you now to go up into the cable car and all of that. I'm now like, okay, do I approach this person and go and ask, can I please use your phone just to find out where these people are? And as I'm walking towards the lady, I see Clayton speeding down the road. And he's shouting and he's going on, and he jumps out of the car. He says, do you have your ID? God knows, I never ever carry my purse on me. I always leave my purse and my bag safe in the car. I never carry it with me. But that day I had my purse on me. And I'm like, yes, I do. I'm asking why. He says they took all our stuff. They took everything. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the car is empty. So what happened was, as he's approaching the car, he has Enzo. And there's a car parked next to us, but our registration of the hired car was a GP registration. And he can see there's a car next to our car, and he sees, no man, these people are loading our bags into their car. And so he runs towards.
So he's seeing this live.
He's seeing this. So he runs towards.
Catching them while they're busy doing.
Yeah, he runs towards the car, but the last guy already has the last bag. So in him running, he realizes, no wait, my daughter. And he runs back for Enzo. He grabs Enzo, picks Enzo up, runs, and by that time the guys had already left. I tell you, we came back to Joburg that evening with the clothes we had on. And if every single thing was gone. And we were shook. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know who to phone. We didn't know what to do next because our stuff isn't insured. It wasn't insured. It's gone. Everything that, and you must now know you pack the finest of the finest of everything because you're going to Cape Town for the week and you know what you're doing every day. And yeah, that was the pain of what we had to endure. We went to the control room. They showed us the footage of the people. Did they help us? No, we didn't get the help. They told us we can go to the police station. We got to the police station. The policeman said to us, why are you opening up a case? Because his first question was, do you have insurance? Because he thought we're opening up the case so that we can claim from the insurance. And I said, no. This is because we want you to prevent this from happening to the next person. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? And they were so nonchalant. Like, they're
like, brothers, happens all the time.
Yeah, it was so normal. It was so normal for that to happen. And I was, when I just prayed, I said, we got into the car and we drove, and now we're in a state because now we're missing our flight. Fortunately, Clayton's dad works for the airline, and we told him we don't have anything to check in. We just need someone to get us from the security pass, and it's just to let us through. We'll probably make it. Like, we literally made it less than 15 minutes before our flight.
Because all those things, and it's also now, your mind is all over the place. Yeah.
And they fortunately made us go through. And I think reality sunk in when we landed in Joburg. Because now obviously you're like, okay, I have clients already tomorrow. My clients have been waiting for me. What do I do?
Gone.
Everything is gone. The first client for the next morning had a wedding. Her son was getting married. Her son was getting married. And I was like, God, what do I say? What do I do? But thank God I don't think she had a choice, but she was so nice and she was okay. And she was like,
people is going to be understood because out of
your,
how much you do this happen to you, there's nothing you can do about it. It's out of your control. Yeah. But like you say, thank God she was understanding and she wasn't being difficult.
And Pastor Zex, I think in everything that happened, Jay, people will say, thank God they never harmed you. Thank God they never touched you guys. Thank God that your lives, you still have your life. They never touched you guys. They never did anything. But the pain of having to start over when I just started is not a lack of feeling. it's not nice knowing that I have to build from scratch again. I have to
And
start
I just finally
again.
got to a point where now there's at least some
There's
momentum
something
here.
happening.
Yeah.
We are moving. And then the enemy comes and he just steals that away again. And it was so, for me, it was, I remained calm. Because even when we got into the car, I said to Clayton and Enzo, let's pray. And we prayed. And I said to God, whatever it is, you will restore it. You will restore whatever this is. It was painful because, I mean, for those that know me know that myself and Clayton, we've been building our Jordan collection. And to have all of that stripped away from us, it was painful. But anyway, yeah. So we prayed in the car, and even before I had left Cape Town, one of my cousins had prayed over me. And there was actually a few of my cousins, and they just surrounded me, and they said, Kez, there is monitoring spirits, and there is so much going on in your life. God is at work, but there's people that is also at work. There's people that want to see you fail. There's people that want to see you fall. But the standard God is going to raise, you will be protected. You will do well. And I was so grateful for that moment. And that is all I could picture. When all of this happened, I said, God, like a shield, they surrounded me like a shield. And I know that you're going to continue doing this. And by the end of the following day, I had most of my stuff back. I could operate again. And today I sit here as a testament, and I have all my equipment back. Thank God for my family that pitched in and assisted me in having my build up and my comeback.
Three lessons out of that experience. What would you say? If you had to take 3 key points, like, okay,
out of
the whole Cape Town experience, having to start over, having to rebuild.
Sure. Stay grounded in your faith. Stay prayed up. Have insurance. make sure your stuff is insured at all cost.
Keep your J's at home.
No, always stay dressed up. Always stay dressed up. This journey of entrepreneurship is one where you'll constantly have to fall and rise up. And you have to be okay. You have to be adaptable. You have to be able to actually say, okay, I'm coming back. You have to be resilient in whatever you do.
Was there a moment where you're like, must I carry on with this thing? Or were you like, nah,
there was.
There
was. I want to answer him. Sorry,
Okay,
Jay.
no
I want
problem.
to answer you. There was. Because that very same week, I got a call from my previous employer to say, you're coming back to work.
Imagine that one.
How's
bro. You're
everything?
Like,
Everything just
imagine
happened in
that
that
it's
one
like,
week.
All of a
Very
sudden,
same
after
week.
this, you saw my phone, it's like, wait.
Yeah. So I was called and said, you're coming back to work. And now you're in a state where you're like, okay, God, did all of this happen for
So
a
that I
reason
can go
that I
back?
must go back to the corporate scene, that I must... Now you're confused. And I said, no, I don't serve a God of confusion.
Yeah,
I
take you
He
through
won't
this
start
just for
something
just-
and leave
He
me halfway.
won't start something
Yeah.
and bring me this far in such little time.
And just leave
and
me
then
hanging
just
now.
leave me. And now I must go and be dependent on someone else again and go back to the grind.
So there was an inner peace of like, I'm
There
doing
was.
this. I am doing this
There
regardless.
was, I don't know if it
However,
was
I'm
an
gonna
inner
buy
peace
the
or
things.
confidence or
Yeah.
what, but there was.
However, those things are coming back, whichever way it happens. But me, I'm carrying on with this journey. I'm going
That was me.
forward.
But
Jay?
a lot of entrepreneurs find themselves in that space. I mean, there's a lot of hills and valleys, highs and lows, twists and turns, trials and tribulations that takes place on the voyage and on the journey. And you get to that point, it's like, I want to ask you an honest question actually with what I wanted to say now. Was there ever a moment that you looked back and in actual fact, I think you've answered it already. There wasn't a moment where you looked back. And again, entrepreneurs that started their own business or that's still on the brink of starting what they want to start, all those challenges will appear. It will happen. What's one motivation that you would just give them to say, you know what, those things are going to take place. It's inevitable, but keep going.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
Okay, is this my parting shot?
Yeah.
Okay. I think because for my own journey, for the space where I came from, had the privilege to see entrepreneurship for myself through the eyes of somebody else. And so I was kind of prepared. I know that these things will happen, even if my business doesn't turn over whatever I envision for it to turn over. I know that I'll keep pushing. If this thing doesn't work out, I'll find something else, but I'll keep pushing. And so my encouragement for everyone, young and old, is that entrepreneurship is not about age. It's about courage. And that is one thing we have to always remember. It's not age, it's about courage. It's choosing to believe in your vision, committing to the process. Commitment is a very strong word when it comes to entrepreneurship. Commitment to yourself and to what you actually want to do. And understanding that every step forward, big or small, brings you closer to purpose and impact. That is all that we need to remember. There's never a perfect time. Where you are is do with what you have in that moment.
It's not like one day when I get this, I'm going to start. It's like,
just keep working. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Always be hungry to learn, read, ask questions, find mentors. Don't ever think that you can do this on your own. The journey is lonely in itself already. Don't think that you can do it on your own. And be okay to fail forward. I think that is one thing we have to be okay with. Always have fresh ideas, be creative, and have the energy, bring the energy to the table. To my older folk, it's never too late to pursue your passion. Age doesn't disqualify you from purpose. I'm going to say that again. Age does not disqualify you from purpose. And if we get that into our heads, there's so many things that we can change. Your wisdom, your discipline, your life lessons, and all your treasures, they are there to build, guide, and to even collaborate with the younger generation. So find ways of collaborating. Don't sit back and say, yeah, my time is over, or I have now retired, or I was retrenched. Where do I go? Where do I start next? No. Find a younger person, collaborate, find ways in which you can find synergy. Stay open to change. I mentioned earlier that the world is ever evolving, and your adaptability can keep you relevant and impactful. Yeah, that is all from me.
Do you want to run through some comments?
Yeah, I just want to... beautifully said. Come on. So we have your number one fan, definitely in the building. I'm sure you know who we speaking about, Auntie Ellen. Yeah. You will definitely restore everything, my child. We have Lizelle. Maybe you can also just check some stuff there as well. Pastor Zakes. Lizelle says that God will restore everything you've lost. And Lucretia says there's so much love when you actually sit down for a set with Keys. Always a good experience and a safe space. Nice. And just a bunch of other comments as well. Llewellyn says, yes, you have to stay relevant and keep your ear to the ground. Deliver your service or products in a way that resonates with today's shoppers. So that was part of one of the conversation that we spoke about. Marvin actually has a question. Has your journey in the corporate contributed to your knowledge and skill base that's still in use right now? Did we cover that?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Hi, Marvin. Yeah. Thank you for that question. I think, yes, I am who I am because of my corporate journey. Everything I know today, my resilientness, everything that I stand for today is because of my corporate journey. I've learned so much, and I've applied now that into my business and into my daily life. So yes, to answer your question.
So the answer is yes, yeah.
No, 100%, but we just have a lot of shout-outs, and I just want to thank everyone in the comment section. Danielle, Mr. Joan Horn, Llewellyn, like I mentioned, my dad's in the comment, Mr. Frank van Staden, we have Angela, we have Lisa, we have just a lot of people, Laika, we have shout out, Cyril, we have thank you so much for joining us, and yes, just a bunch of comments you can definitely go through later on and reply to them one by one.
I will do that.
Keith, thank you for coming
to
join us this morning. I hope you enjoyed your time with us this morning. Thank you for sharing your stories, your life lessons. I know, I can see in the comments that people can really take a lot out of what you've been through, your journey, that leap of faith, leaving something to start something fresh. It's not easy, but you did it and you're doing it. Throughout the ups and downs. Yeah, and you keep on moving. Things happened, your stuff was stolen, but you kept it moving and you kept it going. Yeah. So thank you for coming out this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Usually on the show, apologies to end, you know, the person that we're interviewing, the entrepreneur that we're interviewing, it was mainly guys. We had Sheldon on the show, and then he gave a couple of guys haircuts. I'm trying to figure out how do we play this. We had Marvin was the show. He took us through a whole. Are you gonna be the person, bro?
Nah, bro. Yeah, maybe I can do a manicure.
Male grooming is a thing.
100%.
Maybe I can do a manicure thing. But one of the things that it's a little bit not make sure for me. This thing where and I see gents do it, right, where they put that clear on. It's too shiny for me, man.
Yeah, it mustn't be too shiny.
It mustn't
though.
be like shiny to the point
it must
where
look
looks
neat and
like
clean.
feminine.
Like, yo,
yeah, it
that
must
looks
look clean, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I know that ones do that. But for me, that's too shiny. It's like, oh, bro, I can see your nails is shining. There's got some glitters in. So yeah, okay. So there's no nail things happening today.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to close my nails because we're professionals. But fam, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much for everyone in the comment section. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do jump on that bandwagon and subscribe. We got 7,380 subs. Thank you so much for everyone that's been subbing.
Quick one. We pray God's blessing over you, Kezia. We're rooting for you. We're here for you, and your latter will definitely be greater than your former. We pray God's richest blessings over your life. You'll go from strength to strength, victory to victory, glory to glory, and you ain't seen nothing yet, girl. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's just gonna get better and better and better and better.
Thank you so much.
Let's go. Thanks for coming. Thank you to everyone that's watching. Love you guys. See you on the next one. Goodbye.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins, and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.